Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Welcome back to the morning show here on Stock Market TV. Spencer Israel, Steve Strazza, JC Parets. Good news, bad news today. The good news is JC is back. The bad news is he is not actually back yet. He'll be back in like half hour, 25 minutes. Let's call it 9 o'clock. JC will be back at 9 o'clock. He is currently en route to his house. So he'll be here when he gets here, and then we'll have the full gang back together again. Nonetheless, the show must go on. Michael Nauss is our guest today. He'll be on at 9. He's been doing some funky algorithmic things with Kenny Glick. So we'll talk to Kenny and Michael about that. We'll have Mary join the show. I have a bunch of charts in my deck about the length of the current bull market. We got charts from Mike. We got some beat report things to talk about. We got some morning movers. We got some earnings. We got a lot going on today. You know, it's a synthetic Tuesday, but, you know, it's a Wednesday, really. So here we go. I'm excited. You're excited. Chat's excited. Smash the like. Thumbs up. Always thumbs up. Because never thumbs down. Always thumbs up, right? Are we all good? Great. Let's do it. Hey.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. How are you?
Gotta fix my hair. I'm good, man.
So your camera is flipped around, I think. I don't really care though.
No, I think it's lower.
No, like in restream it's flipped around, isn't it? Oh no, it's not.
No,
I lied.
I hit
It's just
mirror.
no, it's not. I just don't know. We don't normally see your blinds. That's throwing me
I
for a
know.
loop there. Yeah.
Somebody's touching my camera at night. Do you
Blame
think
the
there's
cat.
a ghost in my house?
It's the cat.
I know. I know who it is. So short week, which means it's already Wednesday.
I know.
Feels like Tuesday.
It
but
does.
It is Wednesday. We have any big economic data? We had the Fed last week. Like what's coming up?
I know we had nothing yesterday, and we had nothing.
What do we got on the catalyst
today.
calendar? Nothing.
No. You know what? I stopped pulling up my economic data calendar a while back just because I don't know. What's today? Today, no, not tomorrow. No. Tomorrow. Oh no, today, if you care, we do have the FOMC minutes. I know you're big into the minutes. Tomorrow, no. Friday, no. Quiet week, man.
So you know what the catalysts will have to continue to be? Earnings. Shout out Solar Edge.
I was gonna save it for Kenny. Kenny, who didn't even know that Solar Edge reported earnings until yesterday afternoon when he was in his room at like 3:45. Was like, oh crap, okay. He thought they reported tonight. Or tomorrow morning, not this morning, right?
So he held on without knowing.
No. I don't think he held on. He I think got I don't know. He's always managing his positions in more than one way. He's trimming and adding and trimming and adding. So we'll find out what he did. But
it's a great chart. We'll throw it up. But we gotta do state of the markets first.
Oh, I forgot all about that.
I'm gonna share my screen. Yeah, it's up 20% pre-market. So our calls are in the money.
Look at that. State of the markets. Is the bull market over? As overnight futures are in the red, Steve. What's that about?
Was that really like the message today?
No, but Meta did not go up. I didn't know that was allowed. Meta had a down day.
And it was a big nasty red stick too.
Yeah.
So they're rotating. The Mag 7s, they keep rotating. So here's what Spencer's talking about. Absolute relentless bid for Meta. since Mark Zuckerberg started hanging out at the White House so much. But yesterday, clobbered, down 2.75%. When you look kind of around the equities landscape, just start with the S&P 500 futures. This chart's marked up just to show that dips keep getting bought. I don't think that that's changing in any way, but our breakout's going to be valid is more of the question, right? So we talked about this yesterday. These ranges need to resolve. Flirted with getting it done in some of the indexes yesterday. None of these are valid breakouts quite yet, but we're just sitting there. We drew this base yesterday on the NASDAQ. Here are the Dow futures, coiled up and probably ready to go. Russell 2000. I think we need more from small caps. This has been a really lackluster consolidation phase since the post-election rally. I'm more interested in the intermarket right now. So dollar, really, really weak bounce over the course of, I don't know, the last day and a half. And now we're kind of testing this resistance level from below again, right? So this is kind of like the rollover zone where you should expect sellers to show back up and kind of knock this back into the range around this 107 and change area. So look for that this week. If we get strong downside follow through from the dollar this week, that will spark a massive risk asset rally. Also got to watch the bond market. Little bounce back here in interest rates this week. So 10-year went out, I don't know, last week at about like below 4.5, popping back towards 4.6 here this morning, 4.57 in the 10-year. Cryptos. Got to talk about the cryptos. Solana looks like somebody took it out back and shot it. Bitcoin's still holding on. Nice little shake candle at the VWAP yesterday. Here you can see that right here. This is such an important consolidation because Bitcoin is losing everything else. If you look at cryptos as an asset class and you simply use intermarket analysis and make a list and say they're probably going to look like their peers, Bitcoin's the only one that really looks the way it does right now. Everything else looks pretty terrible. So let's just throw up Solana to make that point. This is a breakdown as far as I'm concerned. If we're below 180 in Solana, I frankly don't want to own it anymore. You can always buy them back. So I think with the cryptos, you got to see it. International equities, on the other hand, continue to trend so hot. This is the Eurostoxx 50 ETF. I like to show them in local. In USD, because that's what I'm going to have to pay on the price action I'm going to have to deal with when I participate in these markets. This is the Eurostoxx 50 ETF, price in US dollars. And I like the Vanguard too. It's a great benchmark. So this is the VGK. And when you zoom out, it's all about the structures here. They're massive bases. They're bases on bases. And they're ready to head back to those old all-time highs. So Europe has arrived. China has arrived. Global equities continue to trend really well. Commodities are waking back up. But U.S. stocks, a little lackluster in a bit of a consolidation phase still.
Lackluster for U.S. stocks?
Yeah. At the index level.
Never thought I'd see the day.
No, you're right, Spencer, because we pick our spots, and it's been a stock pickers market, and we're talking about space stocks and AI stocks and all these, corners.
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. NVIDIA, right? Yeah, NVIDIA, where you at, man?
Yeah, this has got to break out. I mean,
remember Google, Tesla? Where you at?
But remember Tesla after the election?
Yeah,
it's like giving more than half of it back.
Really?
At this point. So, and then pay attention to commodities real quick. Let's just talk commodities. I think copper, little corrective action over the past 3 sessions. I think this digs in and eventually heads back to the upper bounds here. These highs from last year, that's just north of $5. Crude oil has got some work to do, but 2 solid candles today and yesterday and starting out the day here today. At this big VWAP that we talked about, that's the VWAP anchored from the April 2020 low. Keeps coming into play. I think we get back above it. We head back to the upper bounds. Maybe energy stocks start trending a lot better than they have been. And then let's check on gold and silver. Gold's still the leader. Looks so good. Really resilient too. And then silver. I think silver, there's a big catch-up trade here. I keep hearing things about platinum and palladium. So commodities are an interesting group right now.
All right. That was a fun state of the market. Thank you, Steve.
Like it?
Yeah, I did. You know what today is? Today is also an interesting anniversary. Today is the 5-year anniversary of the final all-time high in the S&P 500 before the pandemic. That's what happened 5 years ago, Steve. And I remember that time because at that point, COVID had been a thing, right, since like December over in China, and in the U.S. markets just didn't care about it, right? We didn't care until we cared, right? And today was sort of like the epitome of not caring about it.
You know, it's really incredible because you think back to that time, and it was scary for market participants. That was a weird event because it wasn't a market event; it was a health event. So something a lot of people had never seen in their careers, really didn't know what to do with.
Yeah.
We had this nasty crash and then into a V-shaped bottom, and look how far we've come. So we look back 5 years. So it wasn't that crazy. The S&P 500 has tripled off of the pandemic lows. Tripled.
Remarkable.
So it's just, if you were to say somebody, hey, in a few years, if you buy this crash right now, March of 2020, you got a triple on your hands. Oh, you would have gotten laughed out of the room. But that's how it works. That's how it works.
Pretty crazy stuff there. So, yeah, I can't believe we're coming up on 5 years of all this stuff now, right? So we'll talk more about it in March when we come up on or April. April was the when it went negative, right? 420. So we'll talk about that in a little bit as these days come back around.
What a time to be alive.
Yeah.
What a time.
Never forget 420. Okay. What is on the docket for today? Well, what's on your mind? Toast?
I'm just checking on some things. I see Rachel mentioning the toast. I like the toast too. Just seeing what's going on. I'm just checking on the boys.
How'd you do yesterday? You had 2 more doubles, right?
Yeah.
All right.
And we got one coming today with the Solar Edge. So that was a little pre-earnings setup. It's just a nice coil in that Solar Edge. Here, I'll show you. Show you why we did the Solar Edge the way we did. They're on a weekly chart. First of all, this is one of the most heavily shorted companies in the market, so that's always a positive when we're looking into names for a trade. You got these lows from 2017, the all-time lows. You got a beautiful shake. I mean, this is really what this is what had me. I saw this shake. I said, "Oh boy, this is something I'm going to be involved in." And then it shakes right into a coil. You had a shake to the upside too, right? A little pow, pow, false start, boom, coming out of this coil today. We're indicated to open around like $21. So that coil is now resolving to the upside. Spencer, this goes along with that theme. They can't break down the worst stocks in the market. The worst stocks, they're not breaking down. They're in fact failing their consolidations and resolving higher.
I can find you some bad stocks that are breaking down.
Find me a bad stock. I knew you would.
You want one this morning?
We're talking themes. You know that, right?
You want one this morning? Bumble. BMBL. Well, this had earnings though, so it's like half cheating.
I know they got to do the grinder. Yeah, no,
they got to do the grinder.
They got to switch it up.
Whatever they're doing over there at the grinder is working for them.
Yeah, no, Bumble's way too hetero. We've seen this before. So this is the Match.com absolute disaster. They're not breaking down the Match.com though. Not breaking down.
I know.
Hey, you know one that was supposed to break down? Nike. Guess what? They didn't break down the Nike. Nike rocking higher.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. There's examples. Pfizer. Why can't they take down Pfizer? They can't take down Pfizer. I don't know. Bad stocks. But then, yes, you're right, Spencer. Fine. So Spencer says there are bad
consumer
stocks. Well, here's Merck. Yes, you're right.
Just give me a whole sector. I'll take consumer staples for 100, Alex. Right.
Shout out Hershey.
Shout out Kraft Heinz.
Check out. Talk about a little shake and bake. Check out the shake and bake in Hershey. They spiked this thing lower, and look at this candle. Boom, follow through, and things been ripping ever since. What's their dividend like these days? $1.37. You could do better than that, Hershey. Hershey, shout out Pennsylvania. Shout out JC Parets. 32 billion.
All right. What was I about to say? Oh, speaking of earnings, I want to talk about. I have some slides in the deck. You guys have been doing some great work these last few weeks or months on looking at earnings reports, but not so much caring about, whether it was
reports.
Not so much caring about earnings reports, but it's about the reaction to said earnings report. This table might be a little hard to see, so I apologize.
Let's try.
But here, I'll make it bigger. And then I'll have Steve kind of explain what this is showing. But this is a new thing that the guys have been doing, and I'm going to drop a link in the chat for how you can get these emails that have been going out pretty much every day for the past few months at this point. Most of that was internal, but now we're live with it. So walk us through this, Steve. You're looking at the reactions to the report, right?
Yeah, so this is a little like stat sheet that we'll put out on a day lag, right? So we're not going to talk about the earnings of the day on this. We need a reaction candle first, right? We need to see how the stock does in the whatever the next session is, right? So if it reports in the morning, it is that day. If it reports in the afternoon, we wait for the next day, and then we track and measure the reaction and we score it, and that's in the last column. And all the other information here, we got, price trend information about the intermediate and long-term trend, because that matters, right? We know that these earnings reactions tend to occur in the direction of the underlying trend, so we want to know what that's doing. We have the results, right? So you see the miss beat, those will be yellow. A miss will be colored red. A beat will be colored green. We find it particularly interesting when you get some sort of a miss like you got in ETR, for example, Entergy Group. You get a double miss, right? But then they send it higher. So if you look at like the reaction from ETR yesterday, they come out, they report a double miss, and then the stock is up like 6%. Right, so that'll get a higher reaction score. The reaction scores are also adjusted for the market's performance that day, right? They're benched against the broader market. And then we have all the numbers reported versus the street's numbers. And we'll do this every day. So this will be every company that reports and reacts in the S&P 500. We'll throw in this little table and then just track them. And then we got a really big file that we're looking at when we're digging through these earnings names and trying to find, the best earnings trends to line up with the best technical trends.
Right.
And then we'll get involved in names like that. We're looking for trend reversals, but we're also going to find runners from this universe, right? We'll be playing a lot of continuation patterns higher because it's going to be quality names. It's going to be quality names. We can also find ones that are turning.
For example, right?
Yeah. Like this. Yeah, sure. This one has just been beating earnings and reacting higher like over and over and over again for 2 years. Constellation. This is an AI stock.
Yeah, I forgot. That's right. Yeah. So, to answer your question in the chat, this is a separate thing. It's a free daily note, at least for now. And so I guess we're in we're not beta testing because it's pretty rock solid at this point. But we're like, I don't know. We're just feeling it out. We're throwing it out there and seeing what people think. So sign up. The link is in the chat. The link is actually it's in both chats.
It's a great question, Rachel. Yeah, it's a new list. You do have to sign up separate. But there's a free daily note.
Yeah,
and we'll be talking a lot more and more about it in the future.
And again, it's not so much about looking at the earnings reports the day of. That's not what it's going to do. It's going to look at the reports in the context of the reaction. Right. Or the reaction in the context of the reports. That's what it is. Right.
And there's patterns in that, right? There's patterns in the way that a stock is either rewarded or punished by the market when they report, right? So you'll see these consistent positive reactors, and then you'll see these consistent negative reactors, right? Where stocks will have a nasty streak where 4, 5, 6 consecutive quarters, they're reacting negatively to beats and misses, right? And then you could see when that kind of turns the corner and they come in trends, right? The market kills the stock for a while on the reports, and then all of a sudden you get some sort of a mixed situation. It usually comes with a consolidation.
That's such a sign.
Some sort of a base, on the price chart. And then all of a sudden the market starts rewarding the stock. And a lot of times you'll see the market early on in the early stages of a new uptrend reward the stock for reports that aren't that great.
That is such a sign.
You catch that sentiment shift, and it's kind of like when more, right? You get that at bottoms kind of thing on a specific or individual stock basis. So
when the stock goes up on a bad or average earnings report, or it goes down on a good report, that is a sign of signs, right? So that's exactly, and that's not what happened with the Medtronic, but that's what this beat report is going to highlight, right? And it's going to make clear.
And we'll write about those names and those stories. That's the kind of stuff that we kind of elaborate on in the daily note that you
get. There we go. So again, the link is in chat. It's actually simple. It's stockmarkettv.com/beat report -. I'll put it on the screen if you're not in our chat for whatever reason. Here, I'll put it on the screen right now.
So you heard about this thing, Spencer? We were out here talking about Baidu's reaction yesterday. There was more than just earnings for Baidu. Did you hear about this meeting of the top tech CEOs out in
I mentioned it briefly yesterday on the show, right? So
wow.
It wasn't just Jack Ma, right? That was meeting with cheap.
Yeah.
It was.
But you know who didn't show?
No.
Baidu.
Baidu didn't show?
Baidu didn't show.
That's
So now, like, we don't know if somebody got kidnapped or what's really going on, or if Baidu is just like not in good standing with the Chinese government. You never really liked that. There was a time when we were talking about Coinbase where I was just like, you know what? Do I really want to be super bowled up on a company that's getting harassed by the government and regulators? It is something, to note in your investing endeavors, right? Jurisdiction that they operate in. Are they friends of the people who can, regulate and intervene in their business, or are they not friends? It matters. It matters. So I found that interesting. I just know we talked all about it yesterday, so I wanted to throw that in there. Baidu not showing up,
I did
not
hear
have a
that.
seat at the table. Holy cow! What a mistake that is.
They were invited, but they didn't show. I did not hear that. Very interesting.
That's no good though. I don't like that. I would be like writing a letter to the board right now. What is wrong with you guys?
Baidu now.
Bad practice.
Yeah, these things. That's the problem. That's my problem with China. Is these trades, they wind up and they unwind so quickly. Well, they unwind so quickly, right? When they're off, they're off.
Alibaba is a massive company. It's gone from the 70s to 127 in literally 1 month. So they move. When they move, they move.
When they move, they move.
Like, wow. Yowzers.
Crazy
stuff.
stuff.
What else we got for news here? Slow news day. It's been a slow news week. Frankly, they're killing the home builders out here. They're probably fine, but it's like a double whammy. I think some new home construction numbers came out yesterday. They were no good, but then you also got the rates ticking higher this week. So home builders are sitting right here. If you throw up my chart, Spencer, we've bet against this very, very strong and pro-cyclical and risk-on industry group. We've bet against it topping out before. I think that probably works again, but this is now massive. Look at the top and the homies. I mean, this is no joke. You don't want to lose your original leaders like the home builders, semiconductors, anything like that. So this is a chart I'm watching, super closely right now. And they all look a little bit different, but if you're into the failed tops, I mean, there's a lot here. So here's DR Horton, right? Failed top, potential little shake here before you go. Here's NVR. This is one of the bigger ones. You got a level there that you could trade against. KB Homes has been a strong one. You got a little failed toppy situation going on there. So a lot of stuff.
I don't know, man. This is a theme that like I'm just long and strong, right?
I like the Polte. Yeah. Okay.
I'm just long and strong. There's a couple of themes that I just don't really understand what the bear case is, and it's home builder / home improvement is one theme, like medical devices is another, cybersecurity is another. Those are kind of the three big ones for me right now. And
you like the devices,
yeah, and I like semis, right? And I just
love semis here.
See a world where like these themes don't work in the long term. You know what I mean? So like maybe they're not going to work and they're not working in the short term, right? For sure. But I don't overthink it. I don't overthink it, right? So
in other words, you're saying everything else is working so good. These groups got to eventually play catch up and work too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm good with that. I think that's a rational thought.
Like think about like just supply and demand for like of homes in this country.
Yeah.
Right. I just don't see a world where like home builder companies, but also like the home improvement stocks like Sherwin-Williams and Home Depot and Lowe's materials.
Buy the building materials. I love it. I think it's a big theme. I think it's a big trend. I agree, Spencer. We need more homes. We need more houses. We need more young people to own houses. It's something that has to get figured out. These are the companies that are going to benefit from doing the building that has to eventually come. AZEK is one that stands out. I'm a big fan of the AZEK. Some great weatherproof deck material there. Builders First Source. You could talk about these, potential failed tops. This is one of the stronger building materials names when you zoom out. That's BLDR. So there's a lot of stuff there. I think you're throwing out the paint companies. They're kind of boring. Something like a Sherwin-Williams. That's another way to do it. PPG.
Are they boring? I don't know.
They sell paint, Spencer. So they sell paint.
Yeah, I just don't overthink it too much. Like every time there's a cyber
Yeah,
event in the
Caleb,
world.
Caleb can't afford a house. He's got to travel all around the country. He's got nowhere to live. See, it's a real problem. Shout out Airbnb.
Yeah.
People are struggling. People are struggling.
The struggle is real. I don't overthink it. Right. There are like some macro themes where I just bought. Remember the commercial for the
Yeah.
rotisserie chicken? You set it and forget it. I just bought a couple of these ETFs years ago, and I'm just going to leave it there. Right. Set it and forget it. Right. Cybersecurity. Set it and forget it. I don't overthink it. In fact, I never think about it. Period.
Cyber's great. Cyber's great.
I just don't even think about it.
Every day I'm finding a new cyber stock at new record highs. Love the cyber arc. They're like all from Israel. It's fantastic. And shout out to Riley. He was on here talking about John Deere yesterday, and you get the God candle. I don't know. I guess Riley just came on and just moved the market yesterday. Look at the candle in John Deere, up 4.5% breakout, new all-time highs. We talk about like the way John Deere trends. It almost reminds me of Tesla, where it just goes like dead sideways in these like forever consolidations and then just blasts off. And this just happened again. So you have this massive, call it what, 4-year consolidation. 4-year consolidation. Imagine all the built up energy. So I think John Deere is literally going a lot higher. This thing's got 1,000 written all over it. So sweet breakout. We were talking about it yesterday. Shout out Riley. Yeah. Super micro. It's amazing. Back from the dead. What a trend.
Yeah, I guess they're going to report earnings allegedly, is what I hear.
I had a buddy. He loves trading junky stocks, and he pinged me a couple weeks ago. Would have been the perfect entry. This thing was trading like sub 30. He's like, "How about Super Micro?" I'm like, "This company can't even find somebody to sign their financials." And then he texted me again yesterday. He's like, "Look at Super Micro." I'm like, "I told you not to listen to me."
how many stocks rally on the news that they're going to report? Not that they're going to report any good news.
I mean,
that they're going to report. Period.
But speaking of sentiment, right? We might as well throw this one on the beat report. It's the same thing we're trying to do. They don't even have to put out numbers. They just have to say like, the numbers are coming, we promise, and the stock's popping. You know what I mean? That's like a miss rally.
Wait, when's the deadline? Next week? I think it's Tuesday.
They're rallying on earnings numbers that don't even exist yet.
They have 4 market days to get their shit together. So
I've been a part of audits like this before, and oh my god, it's not fun. People are probably running around like chickens with their heads cut off in this office right now, trying to get these financials done, checked and signed and filed on time.
Yeah. All right, I want to bring on Kenny on, and then I want to bring Michael on. So let's do them both here because they're kind of working in cahoots. So Kenny, let's do this, and then Michael.
Backtest boys, the backtest boys.
That's right.
It's been a long time coming. They ain't come from my club, they tug it. Putting up numbers, 99 pounds, and I still kept it 100. Hola. Yeah.
All right, Kenny. First off.
Yes.
Congrats on your set, man. Congrats on your set. You're in a good mood today. I can tell. Maybe it's the music.
Here comes the sun.
What's up, y'all? Yeah, I'm not. It's just another trade. What's going on?
Just another trade? No way.
We've been waiting so long. Yeah, let's talk about it. What's up, guys? If you walked in, look, it's Sedge. It's coming out of the Andy Dufresne. Look, it's like a baby being born in a weird kind of way. But look, our Andy Dufresne has now finally Kardashian bottomed, and we are through the 3-year VWAP, the 9-month VWAP. So before anybody gets excited, don't be excited. The stock has let us down almost every time. It's given us this hope. But we're finally above the upgrade. Again, remember when the stock was about to break out and then it got upgraded, which sent it back into the muck for 3 months. And now finally they've got a catalyst to get us out of the muck. The thing is, we're still in limbo now, okay? We got to stay above this breakout price. So anything above this 2120 area, especially this 2086, is good. So if you're in it, and I was just talking about what to do, if you only have options like we do, you want to short the stock right now to protect yourself in case this thing tanks at the open, like we've been witness to when we came in with the Lunar. It was gapped up 22% and it quickly gave up the entire 20% at the open. So I'm selling the stock short above 22 to lock into some of the 1750 calls that we have. That's how you do it. And again, if you don't understand, all you're going to do is exercise the calls that you own. So if you bought them less than, $1 or $2, which most of us have them at, about $1.50 cost average. So your cost average is 19 on the stock. You sell the stock short at 19, you exercise the calls, and you lock into the profit. So now if it tanks at the open, you're secure on your profit.
Nice job, Kenny. Very, very nice. Congratulations. I'm happy for you. When you go back to the well for the nth time and it works out for you, feels good. So,
yeah. Well, what I'm really counting on is I'm hoping for a super squeeze. So if we can get above 23 and change, that changes the whole posture of the stock, because now you're in an upper range. And I really think we can get to that $32. Oh, I didn't mean to say it. I don't like to say anything good about the stock while it's moving. And again,
sorry.
Don't be afraid. I mean, don't be alarmed when they rug pull it at the open. I'd be shocked if it doesn't happen, because the stock tends to disappoint. But then again, the idea of a gapped up stock on earnings is kind of what we do for a living. We look to short those stocks to play the fade. So in this case, we're definitely looking to play the fade, as well as, because we only have options on the stock. So yeah, it's nice to see the stock above 19. This is a big moment for the stock. So if it's going to get going, again, the irony of the Trump-Biden presidency, Trump, again, just roughly doesn't like the green energy thing. Biden did, but the solar stocks did very, very well when Trump was president, and then crashed when Biden was president. Kind of the opposite of what you thought would happen. So again, so far so good. Let's see this thing rip.
All right, Kenny, I'm going to bring on Michael Nauss, because you guys have been in cahoots a little bit, right?
Oh,
on some back testing stuff.
Sure.
So, all right.
Jay, we've been friends for a long time. Make the call.
I mean, this is pretty professional, guys.
Nice show you got going here.
I don't know if I've ever been in cahoots before, so I'll take it.
You are now.
Fancy.
That's a Canadian word.
I'll take it.
Michael, what's up?
Oh, not too much. I'm listening. I'm listening to Kenny. I'm still working on the Andy Dufresne. That's going to be a little bit harder, but we got some good stuff going. I'm excited for actually day trading. I haven't been day trading in 10 years plus, but this has actually got me interested again.
Wow. Yeah, that was fun when we sit next to each other watching the Tesla happening in action, the Microsoft.
Wait, so Michael, I didn't know you were in Kenny's room way back in the day.
I was gonna find it somewhere. I've got a Suck My Nasdaq hat. I've got a Hit the Bid t-shirt somewhere hanging around, like way back. I used to watch Kenny in 2008 because I used to trade prop. Yeah, I got one of those.
Be careful. They're illegal in 47 states now.
No, yeah, I used to trade at the prop firm. That's where I got my start. And you had daily limits. So if you lost more than X amount, it shut you down for the day. And, I hated to go home. It felt like defeat. So I'm like, I'm going to learn some stuff. So I'd watch Brian Shannon was on YouTube then, and Kenny and all these guys. So I was watching him ages and ages and ages ago.
Wow.
That was pre-VWAP. That was like a whole different life.
Oh, yeah. I'll say you calmed down a little bit since then. So if anyone wants to see some wild stuff, just go back on that channel a little bit. It's all relative, right?
It is, yeah. It's crazy yet calm at the same time with my kids. Yeah, it was just a wild time. Mm-hmm. Hey, Sedge, there's the 2250. Whoop, whoop. All right, 2250, big number in the world. So if it could stay above 2250, this could be looking at 25 now. So the squeeze is on, baby. Let's go. Hopefully you don't have to think. It'd be nice to see it not fall apart at the open, but right now breaking 2250 is a big number, friends.
Michael, tell us what you've been working on a little bit.
Yeah, so one of the things that was cool, and I do have some slides, but the idea was that, right, Kenny's been doing this stuff and he's been talking about with VWAP for a long time. So just really brief about myself, my own trading. I'm a systematic trader, right? So I like to be lazy and let robots and systems and computers do as much as humanly possible. It's like how I swing trade. I just run a bunch of numbers and it tells me what to trade, and I trade away. So when I was watching Kenny and he was talking about especially the VWAP fade, I'm like, this is something that we could systemize pretty simple. And if it's going to be something that Kenny's going to be able to send out alerts in real time, it's got to be real time. It's got to be systematized. We can't, talk about, it's great to talk about what happened and what we're doing and all that, but some people are just going to want like an alert to their phone, that kind of thing. So I created, and I'm still working on the faux show bro, or whatever we're going to call it. And I've got some examples of actually trades I took yesterday there. And the idea is that we can run
which ones here. Is this Palantir?
The NVIDIA and Palantir.
NVIDIA. All right, let's start with NVIDIA.
So the idea, and Kenny can correct me if I'm wrong, is we're looking for people to be trapped by VWAP, right? So the idea is you're looking for a stock that's gapping up on the day. NVIDIA was gapping up yesterday. Trade above VWAP for a little bit, breaks down. So you see that little red arrow on the screen. That's where the system just alerts me. This is the point of being a systematic trader. It just pinged me and said, hey, Mike, we're breaking down VWAP here. We are holding under that. And then the yellow line on the bottom, that's a 2-day VWAP. So that's on the chart as well. If it reached that, which Palantir did, it would send another alert and say, hey, if you're still in some, might be a good time to get out. But the fact that it can alert and send alerts in real time to anywhere, right? The rangefinder app or whatever it is that we're looking at, we can set up these lists the day before or the morning of, and it can run these in real time. And then the future of that is auto trading. Like why, Kenny wakes up in the morning, he's the master at finding these really crazy stocks out there that are going to move. You plug them into the system and they get traded for you. Execution is going to be better if a robot does it. Emotions are definitely better if a robot does it, all that kind of cool stuff. So yeah, you can see just one alert on NVIDIA today. I actually took that trade on the close of that kind of 2-minute bar that happened right there. And that was like, I think 171 or 141.50. And then you can see just a couple minutes later, you're down 4 points. So that was a great one. The other one I have here is Palantir. And Palantir was nuts. So Palantir, you see 2 arrows. First arrow, you could have taken that one. It didn't really stop out, right? Just messed around VWAP for a while. Broke down, immediately hit the 2-day VWAP, sent another alert. If I was looking, said, hey, Mike, get out. I covered my position there, moved on with my day. So this has been, again, really, really exciting. As someone myself who is a systematic swing trader, like why wouldn't I'm sitting on all this margin buying power, and there's prop firms and tons of ways to get buying power. If I can have a robot do it, why wouldn't I not add a little bit of day trading to the system?
What's incredible is that we did those trades. That was awesome, especially with Palantir, because I'm in a position. So when it hit that 125, I was kind of looking for maybe a rug pull because that's a big number, and it hit it perfectly, 125. My question is, and again, those are 1-minute candles? You have it at 2 minutes? I
got 2 minutes, and the only difference was it's a little less noise, so it's alerting a little less often.
Yeah, I'm trying to experiment with 5-minute candles too, just to get less noise as well. And then if again, a day like yesterday, Palantir, as much as because I love the stock, every time it dips recently, there's always a buy. So if we can inevitably get it to where we're covering and going long, that would be incredible, especially in the market environment we're in right now. You have to cover and go long. I'm curious. Again.
No, I was just going to say this is step one. So the idea is we get this, we get it alerting, we get it, sent out, maybe get some trading, and then we sit down and we look at a step 2. Because I've noticed the same thing. If you have like where Palantir reversed there, that wasn't great, but you got a couple bucks there. I've noticed that in the afternoon, if it comes right back through VWAP, sometimes that ends up being a wicked trade as well. So again, it's the point is I'm diving into Kenny's mind, as scary as that is, and I'm trying to like pull out Kardashian bottoms, Andy Dufresne's faux show bros, and turn them into something like this that is, clean and systematized and can just say short Palantir here. It will say, here's the high of the day for a stop. If you're risking $100, this is how many shares you take. Just gets alerted again in real time in seconds because robots are doing it. People aren't.
This is the evolution. This is the future, Kenny.
I am the future. Yeah.
The future. Yes. All right.
I'm excited. Again, I'm going to give you some examples that we did yesterday, and we got to. I'll show you mine. You show me yours, and definitely we got to hook back up.
Yeah.
All right.
And all right, Kenny, I'll let you run. See my message in Slack.
All right. Let's go, Sedge. Let's stay above 2250, baby. This is great. I'll see you soon later.
All right.
Bye, boy.
And he's off. Head to thebid.com, guys. Check it out. Kenny's been rolling this earnings season is Kenny's time to shine anyway.
Yep.
And this season is no exception. So
no, and that was cool that I didn't run those two by him before I sent that in. So the fact that he took the exact trades as the system did, that's great. So again, we'll all in the future, we'll just need to tell Kenny, and because he finds the weirdest stocks out there, it's like, what's your list today? Pop it into the system, send the alerts to the people. I think it'll be great.
We are in the early days of this. Michael is building it, as he's just talked about. So have patience, everyone. But if you build it, they will come, right, Michael? So
that's the hope. Yeah,
that's the idea. Okay. What else did you say? Wait, what is this chart? I don't even know what I'm looking at here. This is
the blue guy. So the blue area chart. So this is just, again, me kind of trying to test the best I can when it comes to what Kenny's system is. And this is just going back, about a year or so, and trying to, again, the very preliminary to test. The problem with doing real systematic back tests with this is that he's picking the stocks for it. So I have to kind of approximate what he'd pick. So I'd imagine the actual equity curve would turn out better. But again, the beauty of this is you're seeing not a lot of pullbacks, not a lot of, massive dips one way or the other, a lot of sideways action. And then every now and then you hit something like a Palantir yesterday where it just completely tanked. So just to show that there is some actual provable kind of legitimacy to this with being able to backtest the system the best I can.
Michael, brief pause on this conversation for a second, because we got Mr. JC Parets in the house. He's back. There he is.
What's going on?
What's up, Mr. Nauss? I just want to give myself credit for all this. I just want to say, for somebody who has done none of the work, I will take the credit of telling Kenny that you should have a conversation with Michael, because there's something here. And I just want to give Michael some credit as well. Kenny gets no credit. Michael, I want to give him some credit as well, because I explained the faux show bro to Michael, and he's a trained CMT, like formally trained, so he could speak a different language. And I explained him the faux show bro once, and he's like, "Yeah, I got it, easy, duh." That's a no-brainer. It was like watching a symphony between Kenny and the ridiculousness of the faux show bro, as silly as a name that it is. It's actually a very valid sort of squeeze functionality, right, Michael? Yep. And you got it right away, and what you've been able to do is fantastic. So one for the good guys.
Well, I like trades as psychology makes sense, right? We know that anyone who's day traded or even talked about it knows that everyone's told to buy the pullback to VWAP, and then it rockets. And Kenny's like, well, what if we just do the exact opposite? Most people don't make money trading, so why don't we just do the opposite of what they're doing? And there you have it.
I absolutely love and when we were in New York a few weeks ago, and it's literally happening in real time, you guys sitting next to each other whispering while the rest of us are trying to work, and you guys are just giggling because it's all working in real time. That was sick. It was awesome.
Yeah, and again, this is the stuff that I love, right? I do the charts and the support and resistance and the cup and handles just like everyone else. But when it gets down to it, it's building a system that I can then repeat over and over again, that I can remove my emotions from and let robots. And while we were talking in New York, the whole point, my whole kind of theory behind the market is that you trade all these systems. You do breakouts with options like you guys are doing. You do a little day trading from time to time, and then at some point you're going to have one system doing well and then the other system may be lagging a bit. But if you can get enough of these systems together and they're not correlated, it just makes you money over time, right? It's the easiest way for that smooth equity curve, right?
Let's stop right there, because what you're alluding to is something that I believe wholeheartedly, and something that has become more and more important to me as I've gotten older with more responsibilities and kids. And it's this philosophy, this, Ray Dalio, holy grail sort of philosophy of adding uncorrelated strategies. The audience, you guys have heard me talk about this before, but let me pass the mic to Mr. Michael here. Can you, from your perspective, explain what you were just describing and the power of all that, and why you're so open, not only open to it, but going out of your way to add these? Can you talk about that?
Yeah, for my own personal trading and what I do, it's exactly the idea that part of the thing that we can do a lot when we back test is we can come up with an idea and you can test it through and you can run, millions of trades a lot. And what you find is that most all trend following strategies will obviously work when the market's going up. And then most all mean reverting or pullback strategies will work in choppy markets. And we've heard this all the time, is that no system works in every market. Well, unless you can very accurately predict what market environment you're going to be in, you're best just to trade multiple systems. So for example, the last couple months, we all know the market's just been in a sideways range as there's been rotation under the hood and rotation in different countries and all that. So my trend following systems haven't done that great. But in the meantime, mean reversion, pullback systems, even intraday stuff has been doing phenomenally. So what happens is, if you kind of envision a total equity curve, you'll have one strategy not doing anything, but then the other strategy is making up for it. And then if this breakout is going to hold that we saw kind of happen over the last few days, then it's going to be the complete opposite. There's not going to be as much to do mean reverting on because stocks are going to be trending higher. So then the other system's working. So what happens is, just with the mathematics, as you stack uncorrelated systems on top of each other, you get an increased month or year over year return, and generally the same or even decreased drawdown periods. And then what happens is the market smooths out. So the idea is there is no single holy grail to trading. So the only way you can have a smooth system is to have multiple systems working. And the idea that I always try to give people for their real life is a lot of the reason that some of us are trading is multiple streams of income. I have my day job and then I trade, and both of those bring in income, and that helps diversify me, because if I get fired, then I still have this going on, or if trading's not working, then I still have this going on. And there's this study that I think most millionaires have 5 or 6 different streams of income. So we're trying to do the same thing with trading. So whether it's trend following and mean reversion or selling options or day trading or whatever it is, as long as you can say this system should perform well when this other system doesn't, then you should just add it to your list.
Yeah, you talk about a few different diversifiers there. You talk about the, combining a mean reverting strategy with a trend following strategy is one way to do it. Changing time horizon from a day trading to more of a swing or a long-term trading, like those all work. So Ray Dalio, he's got his numbers like 15 strategies or something like that is like optimal or something ridiculous like that. I live in more of the real world where, for me, the numbers somewhere between 3 and 5 is kind of how I look at it. My suspicion is yours is somewhere in the middle, maybe heading up towards 7 or 8. How do you think about that question?
Yeah, I run an investment strategy. That's just monthly rotation. So once a month, it just looks at whatever the strongest names are, holds those. I have one trend following, 2 mean reversion, and now a couple days. So the idea is, ideally, I'd get to the point of 10. So the question is, when
Really?
you're adding,
That's your number? Why 10, out of curiosity?
it's a nice round number, but I could see the point. Now have, I'd say, 4 that are considered kind of swing trading to investing, and then I do another 3 or 4 that are day trading, and then different assets, right? So I'm working with you guys do some crypto of this combined strategies with crypto. I could see some ideas happening there. But the point of this is that you should be able to do as many as 2 things allow. One is your capital requirements, because just like diversifying across assets, the more strategies I have, the less capital I can apply to each strategy. And then the second is your time and how much you can do in your brain, which is why systematizing this stuff is so important, right? I can do this day trading while I'm doing everything else if I have a setup like we just talked about, where Kenny's going to fill a list in somewhere. It's just going to ping my computer and say short Palantir. If I had to watch 50 charts and a bunch of monitors, I couldn't do that. But the more I can systematize the strategies, the more I can make everything as simple, then the more I can do and handle that kind of mentally as well.
I love that thought process. Now, one of the other things that you talk about is the sort of sizing, the position sizing that you have in various strategies. Correct me if I'm wrong, but according to the Ray Dalio Holy Grail mathematics, all the systems are running at all times on an equally weighted basis. That's the way the math works. It doesn't mean he does it like that, but that's the way the math works. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you want to pull the levers and add and subtract depending on the environment, having a larger weighting in a particular system versus a lower weighting or none at all potentially. Like, how do you, like, does that change
Yeah.
the math at all? Like, how do you think about that?
Well, so everything is tested equally weighted just for the simplicity of it. But I always do. So I do an exercise kind of every day and every week. You know, I take a walk in the woods and say, as a kind of inherently more lazier type person, is what could I remove myself from? Where do I add value to my trading and where don't I? Where I don't add value to my trading is I'm not going to be the best at putting in orders, right? Anyone could do that. You can have robots do that. Why would I spend my time looking at each tick on the screen to see if my P&L is going up? But where I think I could add value to my systems is, being a formally trained CMT, is going through my 150, 200 symbols that I go through every day and try to get an idea of, are we in a choppy environment or a trending environment? And then, like you mentioned, just weighting them a little bit different. So, say instead of 25% across all those 4 strategies, maybe I'm going to put a little bit more juice into the trend following now, because it does look like this breakout may stick, and just apply a little bit more capital there, but a little bit less. But I never really turn a strategy off, just because in case I'm wrong, right? In case this breakout doesn't stick and then sells back down, well, I'll be glad that I'll be doing some of this mean reversion. So that's the place where I like to pull the lever, and then also to have the ultimate control of, am I actually going to buy this thing? God forbid there's some sort of attack or something like that. It's good to have the human still there to say, we're just going to sit this one out.
And when you talk about identifying the environment to decide how you're going to position size each of the different strategies, you said you're looking to add more to the trend following stuff. What kind of environment do you think we're in right now?
I'm seeing a lot of breakouts from different countries to, commodities to, the breakout in the S&P 500 we're having. If this is going to stick, right? And I think we needed to see a couple days in order to see if we are going to get a stick in this move, then yeah, I want to be trend following. I want to be buying breakouts and continuations. If we then just fade right back into the range, and this is just kind of a little fake out or a rug pull, then I'll switch back quickly. So this is an adjustment that I do kind of every week when I'm putting out the position sizing of
so
what's
you
going
decide
on.
your position sizing on a weekly basis?
Yeah, which strategy I'm going to do, because like most people, right, I get up on a Saturday morning before the kids, I go through all the weekly charts, right, draw all my lines, do everything that any other technical analyst does, and then just kind of see what environment we are. As long as we were inside this range, I was mostly trading pullback and mean reversion, which is fine, and we did very well doing it, but that's a little bit more active. I have to do more work, right? Just like anyone, I love a market that just goes up every day because I just own a basket of stocks and I make money without doing anything.
Do you like, let's say you had 10% in 10 different strategies, and you're taking money away from one of the strategies and lower that to 3%. Are you raising one of the strategies up towards 17-20% of the overall portfolio, or no, you're leaving that in cash?
No, I'll raise it unless, right, the market looks bad. Like one of the things that I did well is during COVID, just shut everything off, right? Just let all the stops out that were out there hit, didn't enter new orders, right? Obviously didn't get the top, also didn't get the bottom, but I missed a lot of that volatility. So in those scenarios, big ones, I'll take the foot off the gas. But in most cases, it's just a slight reweighting, kind of one way or the other.
So you talk about the faux show, bro. You understood it right away. It was very easy. What about like a faux show, bro, right? So like a fake out, shake out, then another fake out, another shake out, and then ultimately the breakout. So the faux show, bro, right? Like, are you thinking about that, or are you leaving it at one? Because the faux show, bro is even more powerful than the faux show, bro, right?
Well, anything can be done, but one thing that you try to do, especially when you're trading, right, the fancy word is statistical arbitrage, but back testing and all this, is you have to balance the number of occurrences with something that's really good, right? So if you have a strategy that's right like 80% of the time, but it triggers once every 2 years, who cares, right? So it's like, I don't care about win rate personally. For me, it's just, does it make money at the end of the day? So I'd be okay with, ratcheting up, like getting more trades, even if a lot of them are losers, if it makes more money, because the idea, especially with day trading, is to kind of churn over that strategy. And one of the reasons it was funny that I understood the faux show, bro, so quickly is because it's something that I trade on weekly charts. It's just to show kind of the fractal nature, with anchored VWAP being the same way. So again, we can get real fancy with it, but again, you have to do that balance where I want to create a slight edge and then exploit that edge as much as possible. The easiest way I kind of describe it is, you're flipping a coin, it's 50-50 heads or tails. If you can get a very slight edge, like a tiny, tiny edge of 51%, then you're just going to want to flip that coin as much as physically possible because you're going to just bank a whole lot of money doing it. So that's when things get super specific and super tight, I start to worry that I'm losing that repeatability of the edge, right? Because that's where compounding and things like that happen too.
And so the faux show, bro, I love because, these things are getting hammered, traded from the long side. These things are ripping, looking to fade it, right?
Mhm.
And absolutely, every successful day trader I've ever met, that is their strategy. It's mean reverting in nature. I love
Yep.
it for the diversification reasons. I love it because that's how markets behave. I love it because of the great risk reward profile that it provides. Like just
Mhm.
check, 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 right? Okay. So we all agree it's fantastic. Faux show, bro. What about like an Andy Dufresne, for example? Like, how are you even thinking about quantifying that and building a system around that? And how do you think about it?
Yeah, so this is so I guess the viewers will know, but Andy Dufresne, just a stock that got hammered, long low base over weeks or months, and now it's starting to pop its head out. That's fairly simple, right? It gets a little bit wonky when I won't bore people with the math, but I'm thinking linear regression bands, basically just taking price and imagining it as a line and saying what's the slope of that line. So if I can get a slope of that line that's relatively flat for a long period of time and price is just oscillating around it, then some sort of high volume breakout, then yeah, it's something that I could pretty easily come up with a pattern. Then the
Like a high
question
volume,
is
do you even
testing.
need a high volume breakout, or are you just taking out the and is the Andy Dufresne over 1 day? Is it 2 days? Is it like a long-term Andy Dufresne on a multiple time frame basis? Like how are you deciding what's an Andy Dufresne and what's not?
The beauty of it is once you turn the pattern into math, then it's counting candles. So 3 months, right, would be 60 candles. You could also just shrink that down to 1-minute candles. You could expand it to 30-minute candles. You could do whatever you want after that. It's just finding that mathematics. So time frame isn't that interesting, but most what I've seen with Kenny with the Andy Dufresne is these daily monstrous breakouts of these garbage type stocks. So one again, same with he was talking about, is it a 1 minute or a 2-minute candle for the faux show bro that I built? And I'm using 2-minute candles, but I can just change the chart, right? Once the mathematics are put in, then it's just looking at bars and how many bars are you looking at? Are you looking at a lot of bars or a little bit? So I think daily to start with, and then I think from there we can start to get real fancy when it comes to different ways of thinking for
So
time
what are you
frame.
using? You using Python?
I use a program called RealTest, and this is built by Marston, who's a market wizard. And the reason I use it is because the entire concept behind it is this multiple testing, right? The idea of testing multiple strategies. It's built from the ground up, but with AI, I actually
It was
see a
built by a
couple.
trader.
Yeah, it's built by. If you ever read, do you read the Unknown Market Wizards? I think the newest one that just came out.
I'm in the back of it. Like I'm one of the blurbs in the back.
He's from there. He's in chapter 2 or chapter 3. So there's Peter
Okay,
Bryant, and
nice.
he's the only fully systematic trader that was in there. And yeah, the idea is simply we're looking for multiple strategies because that's how he kind of achieved his market wizard status. So there's that, and
Interesting.
another one, Amni Broker. If people are looking for different strategies to run, Amni Broker is a good one as well.
Because Amni Broker is a broker itself. That other one is just a software, or it's a broker too.
Just a software, but with most things, exports orders. I can pop my orders into interactive brokers. They can be completely traded for me with Trading View and the integrations they have. That's what I'm thinking for his strategy. That's a little bit more faster term. But yeah, you
But
can
Amni
plug.
Broker, you could do everything all in once in the same place.
Yeah, they
I've
all,
never
a
used
lot
it.
of them. A lot of them will link to different brokers. And the beauty is, if anyone's listening to this and saying, "Well, I don't know how to code, and this is too complicated," I don't know how to code either. I muddle. I
I
muddle
don't
my
know how to
way
go.
I muddle my way through scripts, and then at the same time, I'm doing just a lot of testing and AI nowadays. I can go to the AI and I can say, I messed up this code, help me fix it, and it'll help you fix it. So we're
That's
in a
amazing.
world
And
where
what do you use? Which AI do you use for that?
I use all of them because sometimes you can pin them against each other. I did that the other day where ChatGPT was messing up, and I took the code that it gave and I gave it to Claude, and I said, ChatGPT is stuck here, and it said, here's the code. And so sometimes they can fix each other's mistake. But like anything, you don't want to just trust the AI, right? You want to build some sort of idea behind, what it is that you're doing, and then transport that over. So for me, it's use as many of them as you possibly can. And just like we're talking about systemizing your trading, that's me just systemizing this coding, right? I know the basics of it. I'm going to let the system deal with all the heavy lifting.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but this is a great example of the human not being replaced by the AI, but in fact, the AI making the human better and more efficient and faster. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, because my history in university was business and statistics, right? I took accounting and finance and all that, and then I took my CMT. So I didn't go down that computer science route. So I could do basic stuff, Excel work and some basic scripting. But yeah, once I started playing with these AIs, I could do so much more. So in the last like 2-ish years, it's really pushed me. If you go on my channel or anything a long time ago, I was doing just way more of the traditional technical analysis. And then I saw this, and it just opened up a world that I was always interested getting into. It was just one of those things where like, I'll learn to code next year. I had a kid this year. I can't learn to code this year. Now I'm like, I'm never going to learn to code. I just need to know the basics behind everything and let the system do the work.
Amazing. I love this. Mr. Nauss, what can you leave the audience with? They're loving this. I appreciate the conversation. Any final words of wisdom?
Just the experiment, and I got this from co-host of a podcast I do about systematic trading. The experiment of sitting down at the end of the day and saying, what did I not need to be here for? Right? What could I have had a system to do? And for everybody, that might be something a little different, but think about it kind of like you're the CEO of a company. What could you have given to an employee, or what could you have given to an assistant? That is the part of your trading that should be systematized. And don't think of it as being lazy. The fact that I am done trading for the day and it's 5 minutes in, I just send out a bunch of orders. I don't consider that lazy. I just consider it now I have more time to do other things. So I got a couple studies lined up that I'm going to read. I've got some more testing that I want to do. And just, again, what can you offload from yourself that you can, again, outsource to even All-Star Charts, if it's things like research, or what can you offload to systems so that your brain is opened up to do other things, and I guarantee it will make you a better trader.
I love that you just said I got some studies lined up that I want to read. Like total nerd alert there.
I got 3 that I've been really excited to dive into. So
oh, it's too good. You can't make this shit up. Mr. Michael Nauss, everybody, follow him on Twitter. You'll see him on the Stock Market TV plenty. Michael, always a pleasure, my friend.
Always a pleasure to be here. Have a good one.
Adios.
See you, Mike. And he's gone.
How great is that? How great is that?
It's really cool when, like you said, people can connect, and it's almost like their combination is greater than the sum of the parts, right? You know what I mean?
For sure.
So I'm very excited to see what Michael develops, because
there's one of my favorite songs. I just saw Mufasa for the second time, right? A couple days ago. And there's a song, right? Rafiki's like the monkey. He's like the thinker monkey. And, they're talking about going to, the promised land, if you will, like together. And he's showing them the way, right? And he's like, if you want to go fast, go alone. There's the road. If you want to go far, we go together. So good, so far together, right? Like, if you want to go fast, go alone. There's the road. Off you go. Or if you want to go far, we go together, right? So like Rafiki's there with the stick, and like the lions are following him. They're like, this monkey's crazy, but all right, So anyway, we go far together,
Rafiki is wise, no doubt.
Dude, for sure. He got him there. Oh, sorry, spoiler alert. Oh no, but you knew that, right? Because it's prequel.
So
all right.
It seems like this is down to like Claude and ChatGPT at this point. I know you guys aren't involved.
I don't know.
And the Gemini.
And I've been using I use Perplexity.
I tried the Gemini. Well, that's for writing, isn't it, Spencer?
No.
Oh, it's not?
Well, it's for writing and other
And
things.
their Perplexity. There's a whole bunch of them.
Oh, that's for search. Yeah,
Yeah.
trust me, I know there's a whole bunch. I'm hearing predominantly Claude or ChatGPT.
Hearing a lot of Claude. Hearing a lot of Claude from the guys.
I've been playing with the Claude. The Claude, I've been told, is better for financial folks. So we're gonna find out. We got some of the guys using ChatGPT. I'm trying out Claude now. We'll see. You got to keep playing with the toys because I guarantee you the best one today isn't going to be the best one this time next year. This stuff's moving really fast.
And who owns the Claude?
That's Anthropic.
Anthropic. That's the
Anthropic?
Yeah, Anthropic is like the other big AI startup, right?
And Gemini's Google, right?
Right.
And they're saying the Grok's going to be pretty good, which I don't trust it. But
By the way, we got an email from Google yesterday, or I did, that they are raising the price of our Google like admin suite.
Yeah,
because AI, right? Because they're adding all this new AI stuff, and it's expensive to add to.
this is
to
how it
build,
works, though. This is how they're going to creep it in. If you think you're not going to pay for AI products and services in the future, you're crazy. We're all going to do it. Grandma and grandpa, they're paying for AI. They might not even know they're going to pay. No, because these businesses, these mega cap, the Mag 7s are so in our everyday life. They have your cards. They have you on auto pay. They'll just jack a price. You won't even know about it. But that's where this is going. I find the AI stuff really exciting. Can I say something about technical analysis?
Please.
We come on here. And people probably think, who are these jokers saying things like the Nancy Dufresne and the faux show bro and the Kardashian Bob.
Nancy?
Who? I don't know.
Nancy
Okay. The scoop and score. What we're doing is, in my opinion, I think the technical analysis forefathers, if they could see us now making up these names, having fun, they would be so proud because what we're doing is so.
They'd be jealous. They didn't have this. We'd be jealous.
But wait, this is so in the spirit of what technicians have always done. Like if you're a technical analyst on Wall Street, you're kind of like a square peg. You're a little bit different. You're like a misfit. You're not doing the traditional analysis. And they've always had fun. I could pull out a book right now on Japanese candle. They're talking about abandoned babies and gravestone dojis. They have these sayings from back in the day, the bigger the base, the higher in space. People who have practiced this discipline have always had fun doing it. And I'm really proud of us because we're doing that in a big way out here these days. But that's what all
getting all philosophical.
Am I wrong though?
You're not wrong. You're spot on, dude.
Dr. Copper, like we've always had fun out here.
Yeah, I don't think Dr. Copper was the technical analysis community. I think those were the economists.
Brian Harris nailed it. The Hawk to ya. This thing is just off the charts. The Hawk to ya. You getting involved?
The Hawk to ya?
Yep.
No, I don't think so.
Look at this thing. China has arrived.
So listen. So one of the things that we talk about all the time is that the morning show is really just what we'd be doing every morning anyway, right? So in the spirit of that, Mr. Strazza, I was DC and Baltimore over the last couple of days, business meetings with business papers and whatnot. And so, as I was watching the markets, like I saw what was going on in the markets, but I wasn't like entrenched in it, like as I am today, for example. Can you fill me in, right? Can you fill me in on what happened over the last, day or so that I may have missed, considering I wasn't right on my screen all day?
Nothing really.
Really?
Chinese stocks kept ripping yesterday. It's been a really slow news week. Some reports, but nothing big. The Mag 7 China are reporting this week. We got the Baidu. I think Baba's coming up.
I would tell JC that Meta's streak ended with a bang yesterday.
Yeah.
I would also tell him. What else would I tell him?
Kathy Wood is back. You missed that. I did a bit on that.
She's back. Like, did she ever leave? Where did she go?
No, she never left.
Are you buying Kathy Wood here? Are you long wood or short wood?
I could see that you didn't watch the conference call from a couple of nights ago.
I saw the charts.
And then where did I put that arc chart? Right in there with all your speculative growth. I gave you a shout out. There were like at least three Steve Strazza shout outs in the conference call. You didn't even fucking watch.
Wow.
I watched
that, Spencer.
I
watch.
I was there.
Spencer was there front row, hooting and hollering from the front row, pounding beers.
Oh, I got one. Sam's favorite, the Gene DX was up like 50%.
Oh my God. It's up again today.
48%. and it's not giving a dime back.
No, not yet.
So JC, that's maybe something to report. Speculative growth still hot. The animal spirit's alive and well out here. They're buying the speculative growth stocks now from outside the U.S. That's how juicy things are getting.
I want to give a shout out to Jason Purz. I was with a billionaire yesterday, and they were giving Jason Purz so much love. What like a A+ guy Jason is, getting a lot of love from some big hitters. So just wanted to throw that out there.
Wow.
Jason Purz.
Shout out Jason, what a guy. Elliot GMC. That's from the buy whatever Strazza tells me strategy. That's not a strategy. No one's telling you to buy anything.
Terrible strategy.
Jesus Christ.
I love it, Elliot, but no.
Don't do that.
I'm telling you what I'm buying. I'm telling
You're
you what
going
I'm
to be buying a lot of caviar if that's what you're doing. Like, that's no good. It's
God
not
damn
good.
it. God.
I always
Too
watch
much
Jason
caviar if you're buying what Strazza's buying.
Oh, Lord.
Give me a break, chat. Give me a break. Yeah.
All right.
All right, so that's it. That's all you got for me? Meta ended its streak and Chinese stocks keep going up. That's all you got?
There's really nothing.
Well, JC, I mean, it's what you said the other night, right? Is that breath is still very good. So there's you have to
internationally,
you have to look hard for reasons to be bearish. We talked a little bit about the Mag 7, it's just not really playing ball at the moment.
They're rotating in the US, okay, and then it's expanding internationally.
As far as things today that you missed, we didn't talk about this yet, but Nikola is officially filed for Chapter 11. So rest in peace to Nikola.
Here's what you missed: the bears still can't break anything down. Look at these solar energy stocks.
Nobody's buying energy stocks.
I think they do. I think they will eventually. Look at the last 2 candles from the crude.
How about inflation protected treasuries relative to nominal yielding treasuries hitting new highs? No, that's not. Are you guys not entertained?
Oh no.
What's the tips ETF?
Here, throw up slide 2 there.
Okay.
Throw up slide 2. And can you guys tell me why this is not getting the love? You know, I don't trust humans. I trust dogs and the bond market, right?
Yeah.
And so the bond market is saying the black gold is going up. Do you not believe that the black gold is going to go up?
Can inflation expectations go up without rates going up?
That's the other thing, right? So that's the other thing.
I'm not a bond market guy, but like, can we?
Oh.
Like inflation expectations going up relative, crude oil going up. If that's the case, are interest rates going to go down in that environment? I don't know, right? Like,
it'd be strange though, right?
Like if interest rates are going down, that means that the denominator in this fraction is going up. That means tips really got to be going, right?
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like think about that. Like if rates are going down, the denominator in this fraction is going up. So just think about how much the numerator needs to make up for that.
It's like we're in a bull market, Caleb.
But tips only work against unforeseen inflation, right?
It's the relative. We're interested in the relative ratio. So we're interested if the bond market is pricing in more inflation or less inflation, and the outperformance or underperformance of tips are giving us that.
You know,
I mean, you can look at the break-even rates and everything like that. This is just an ETF way to do it.
No, I love this. I love this chart. I don't know.
What do you think?
I don't know who's right. I don't know who's right.
Dude, who thinks that crude oil gets to 100 this year? Raise your hand. Chat, raise your hand. Who thinks that crude oil gets to 100 this year? Anybody? Strazza?
I think it very well could. I mean, I don't know if I would say 100.
Would you be surprised if it did, or would you be surprised if it didn't?
100. I mean, how far back you got to go to see it at 100?
I think it could be at 100, at least the upper bounds of this range from the past 2 years.
9 years ago?
Anybody? Anybody think oil's going to 100 this year? Nobody? Caleb, what do you think, bro?
You know, Colin makes a good point. Energy needs emerging economies to pick up steam. We're seeing that, though.
Are we not?
In the price action elsewhere. Like, it seems like we are moving to that place.
No, I agree. We're seeing it in the markets, not the economies that we know. Well, maybe we are.
Dude, are you kidding me, Spencer? The stock market is a forward-looking discounting mechanism. The economy is bullshit from the past.
Oh my!
Wait, what did we just talk about? What did we just talk about earlier? Right, today is the 5-year anniversary of the last all-time high before the pandemic crash. Right, so
was it? Is that the anniversary? That's cool.
Well, I'm glad you remembered that anniversary. You forgot the anniversary of our show.
No, what? That's in May. What are you talking about? That's in May, man. Come on, it's like May 13th or something.
I just think we should celebrate
today
more.
was the high pre-COVID, huh? I remember I was short as shit, dude. And I didn't know anything about viruses. We were just
wait, what else did JC miss? Oh, JC missed that Berkshire Hathaway bought and sold some stocks last quarter.
As they tend to do every quarter.
Yep, that's true.
You know what the biggest news of yesterday was? It was Singapore. Asia sees what China's doing and that they all want some. Singapore came out and like slashed the corporate tax rate by 50%. That's crazy because all these Southeast Asian companies are based, they're headquartered in Singapore. So that's actually really big news.
Wait, is that why Grab gapped up?
Yeah, you got big moves from some of the growth stocks over there. Like Grab Holdings is based in Singapore. That's why you got that surge yesterday. Yeah. So, and that's what these governments do, right? They all move together. They see China raining the stimulus out, and they're all going to follow. These economies move together. It's like one giant economy.
Yeah.
What's the best oil and gas stock?
The Indo, definitely.
You throw up the news slide too, there, Spencer, please.
Okay, but after that, I'm bringing Mary on.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, all right. News slide 2.
Yeah. So this is the New York Stock Exchange Oil and Gas Index. And the New York Stock Exchange Oil and Gas Index includes a lot of companies from around the world. It's not just Exxon and Chevron with a little bit of Conoco. Like there's all the others, the British Petroleum and the Imperial Oil in Canada and Petróleo Brazil and all that stuff, right? They got Italian ones, Colombian ones.
Yeah.
It looks better than the U.S. Energy indexes because of that international exposure, number one. Number two, Strazza, isn't it interesting when you look at every U.S. version of something versus the international version of it? The international version is never the winner. It's always the U.S. version. But in oil and gas is the one exception where you have the foreign companies kind of driving this index higher, not the U.S. ones that are dragging it lower. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, it is. I don't know why it's that way. I own some foreign ones.
Yeah, interesting. Why are the foreign ones not as shitty as the American ones?
I don't know. It's a highly regulated sector.
And it's not in other countries?
Of course. But different regulatory environments will create, different opportunity sets for the same sector.
So the United States are more ball busters than oil and gas stocks in other countries.
We have been traditionally.
Yeah,
we're big environment people here, versus
I don't know. We also pump our own. I don't know.
Yes, Spencer, because we have a lot of it. Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah, Spencer, why is it that they don't let you pump your own gas in New Jersey? What's up with that?
Spencer's not used to pumping his own gas. He grew up in New Jersey, so he thinks it's weird when the U.S. drills.
Dude, I met people in college that had never pumped their own gas before.
Yeah, I was one of them. Yeah. I had to learn. When I went to college, I had to learn how to pump my own gas, for sure.
And then why is that?
Jobs.
It's actually, I think technically it's illegal. It's like it's not just like we don't do it. It's illegal to do it. I saw someone do it like a month or two ago, and
people don't know.
I saw someone do it, and I was like,
they freak out.
Did you just pump your own gas? He was like, I'm in a rush, man. I gotta go.
But the attendants will freak out if you try and do that.
They were busy, but I gave him this weird. I was like, what are you doing, man? You got out of your car? We don't do that over here.
You can't pump your own gas in Oregon either. I didn't know that.
Yeah, Oregon and New Jersey. I thought maybe Nebraska used to do that as well. Maybe not anymore. But
you don't think that's weird? You don't think that's weird?
It's not weird if it's how you grew up, right? So
yeah, I guess that's true.
Like the first sentence every kid learns is when they're in the back seat is Philadelphia regular, right? Because that's what you say to the attendant. You say Philadelphia regular. So
that's good.
Oh, right, Jersey! Shout out Jersey. Bring on Mary.
We have Mary.
We got too much Jersey. Hey, Mary.
Hey, good morning. I have to say,
You-
I've not heard of that. Not pumping your own gas. Like, that's so foreign to me.
Fill it
I've never
up.
heard of
Fill it
that.
up the regular.
It's crazy. It's a
Oh my
Jersey thing.
gosh.
And you know what else is stupid in Jersey? You can't make any you can't make any left turns. You got to like make a right and then go like around.
Oh
It's
no,
very
that's
odd
not
also.
that's not just a Jersey thing.
They
There's
have
a
that in
thing.
Michigan too.
There's a
Yeah.
thing called a
Really?
Michigan left. Yeah.
Michigan left turn. Yeah.
That's what
Dunkin'
that's
Donuts.
called.
No,
Why don't
it's a
they
At least
just
you're in
let you make a
Michigan.
left turn? I don't understand.
No, in New Jersey we have jug handles. In Michigan, there's Michigan lefts. They both may force you to the right, but
To turn left. Yeah.
to turn left.
Flow of traffic type thing. I don't know. It's weird.
It's
Yeah, I know.
wild. This New Jersey and
All right.
Michigan.
Jay,
All right.
Mary, share with us. You share with us a few charts. Let's bring them
did.
up here.
Yes. So
okay.
last
International.
week. Yeah, well, so last week, JC and I were talking about John Deere and CrowdStrike. Both have gone in the right direction. So it caused me to kind of go back to the well to look at these consolidations that have been taking place over the last couple of years. But in wanting to diversify, I went international just because I don't have a lot of international exposure, with the exception, of course, of being very heavy in China right now. And so Latin America has been popping off on some of our scans. And so Mercado Libre is a fan favorite at All-Star Charts. And here it is completing kind of like this 4-year base. Looks great. RSI on this one has never hit, well, I shouldn't say never, hasn't hit oversold in a number of years. This is a weekly. And so I think 2000, great round number to kind of place your bet against. And, you know, from here, I would think it's going to go up. That's my opinion. But so this is one that I added just here in the last couple of days for the internet, some more international exposure. And then another one that I brought along, same kind of, this is a monthly chart. So this is a much larger base, it's about a decade-long base. Bank, wasn't this Bank of the Ozarks? Now it's just Bank Ozarks.
Yeah, Bank OZK.
As the
Yeah.
Brozarks.
Brozarks, yeah. Anyway, so I don't have a lot of financials in my portfolio right now either. And again, you've got a great base that has developed here over the last decade. And, you know, we're seeing the European financials doing what they're doing. If it's a bull market, we expect financials to be participating. So this is, again, kind of just a little bit more diversification to what I'm currently holding. And the chart looks nice. I always love a good base. So Bank of the Ozarks, yeah, long above, what is that, about 50-ish? Nice round number there as well.
The Brozarks is one of those things, like you set your alert at a new all-time high, and one of these days you're just going to wake up and it's going to go bling, bling, bling.
Yep, exactly. Yep. And then just, you know, to kind of go back to more of my junky nature, Upstart was on my list.
What does this company do?
I have no idea.
Okay.
All I see is a
I
base.
can't hear you, Spencer. What was that? Can
Nothing.
you come again?
No, never mind.
Oh, Strazza is saying buy now, pay later. Okay, so all
No,
I
it's a
see
joke. Spencer, nobody caught that. Nobody
It's
caught
okay.
that.
It's okay.
What did he say? I missed it.
It's a stupid reference to a thing from a few.
Okay.
Never mind. Forget it.
Never mind. I see a nice base and bullish on the RSI, bullish divergence, especially down there at the lows. I was starting to make higher lows. And so, you know, this is a kind of larger range for Upstart. It's probably about a $10 range between that range of that's marked there in gray. So you kind of have to give this one some room. Just know what you're trading on this one. But this was once on my no trade list, but now it's back on my trade list.
And why was it on your no trade list?
Oh, I just got burned by it often, just a couple of different times when it was getting chopped up in the bear market of, you know, 22, 23. I was just getting chopped. And that was before I knew all the good technical analysis stuff that I know now. So lessons learned. And, you know, that's kind of what you have to do. The baptism by fire, make a lot of bad decisions and learn from them before you start making the good ones.
Baptism by fire. I like that.
Yeah. So Upstart is one of my junkier names that I'm watching. I was looking at the Sedge last night, shout out Kenny Glick, and I loved the chart, on the weekly, the bullish divergence in the RSI on that one. I was going to look at that this morning. I didn't realize that they were reporting today. So I missed that trade. But all the solar stocks now, they have been on my watch list, just kind of watching to see how they've been shaping up. And now, of course, today they're all up. Enphase up 7%. Array, it's been a frustrating one for me, but that's up 3.5%. There are some interesting levels there in some of those solar companies, and you know, maybe they're finally getting ready to go. that's what I bought. That's what I got. And I'm watching Bitcoin, just waiting to see what happens with this kind of consolidation that's been taking place in Bitcoin. If it's going to break out or if it's going to break down, I think the world's waiting to see.
That volatility compression in MicroStrategies is crazy.
Yes, it is.
Like seriously though.
Yep.
All right. What do you say we do a little recess? Get out of here.
Sounds good.
What do you got, Mary?
So I brought a picture of my weekend, of this last weekend. So
Oh, I
our
saw
kids,
this.
our kids
Do it.
had a winter break, and so they had a couple of days off, and so we decided to pack up the family. We headed up north to northern Michigan. We did a ski weekend, and so kids have been learning how to ski down here in where I live on very small hills, and so up in northern Michigan, I mean, we don't have mountains, but we've got large hills. So we spent one day at my favorite ski resort here in Michigan, Nub's Knob. And then the second day we went to Boyne Mountain. And by the end of the second day, my kids were going down the blacks. And I mean, blacks here in Michigan are probably like blues out in Colorado. So, manage expectations. But it was a great time. The kids did a great job. Their personalities came out in such funny ways. Like my oldest was super diligent and, cautious going down. And then my middle child on the black skis straight forward, just straight down the hill.
That used to be me.
Yeah, me too.
And then my daughter, who's, youngest, she's just kind of learning how to ski, all sorts of sass and emotion and, frustration and just getting all worked out. It was all girl. So
were they snowboarding or skiing? Do I see snowboards?
No, those are skis.
Strazza, come on, get with the program.
Snowboards are bigger, right?
Jesus Christ, Strazza,
those are attached, one board attached to your 2 feet. We're on skis. So we had great snow.
Skiing. We're going to Park City next.
Yeah, you know what I do?
Yeah.
You know what I do? I sit down in the lodge. There's a nice fire. They got drinks, all sorts of food and stuff. I'll watch you guys.
Toddy.
I'll root you on. Spencer will
Skiing is
probably
on
be
the
with me.
Proman program, Strazza.
Skiing's on the Proman program, really?
Skiing's on the program. It's a hell of a workout. Are you kidding me?
Oh my God.
Not hurting yourself is also on the Perlman program.
Just remember, Mary, if you French fry when you should have pizza, you're gonna have a bad time. All right. If you pizza when you should have French fried, you're gonna have a bad time. Right. So just remember that. Pizza and French fries.
Pizza and French fries.
That's it.
I learned yesterday. I was in DC and Baltimore, and I learned that you can have crab cakes as your entree.
Oh.
Right. So first timer yesterday having crab cakes. I always had crab cakes as like an appetizer or like a snack.
Amateur hour over here.
Hey, Cubans don't know nothing about this. So I'm learning, but I'm into it. I also learned that you have to have it with French fries. So I had crab cakes with French fries for the entree. It was a lovely experience with a little champagne. It was nice. And so that's number one. Number two, I'm reading The Money Kings, which is all about the Jews, like in the 1800s, building Wall Street. Fascinating, because I'm just always so interested because like the Christians back in the day, they were, the religion did not allow for like money lending and things like that. And the Jews are like, I don't give a shit. I'll lend you money. You kidding me? How much are you going to pay me? I'll lend you money all day. So like the Jews just owned that space, for religious purposes. And these guys were just crushing it. I mean, fascinating, So anyway, I'm interested in all that stuff.
Like Jay Gold, is that who you're talking about?
Before that, like the Lehman Brothers and like the Goldman and Abraham Goldman or whatever his name was, and like, dude, these guys are gangsters. I love it.
That's pretty cool.
Hey, so side note, I just had an alert go off. You were talking about oil and gas. Check out CRK.
Yep, Jerry Jones. Shout out Jerry Jones.
Shout out Jerry Jones.
They had a thing. They had earnings this morning.
Oh, did they? Is that why?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Nice looking chart.
Or last night. I don't know.
Completing a base. Dufresne.
Sandra, we got snowboarders with us, so we can't go to Deer Valley.
Natural gas is ripping.
Yes, it is.
Today. You can buy the boil.
Dude, the long natural gas short fart coin has been great. Great pair trade right there.
That was the Paris trade?
Yeah, of course.
I didn't know that was the pair.
Yeah.
I got something real quick before we get out of here. Everybody should call their broker more. Just call your broker. Don't be afraid to ask for things when you call your broker. If there's something going on in your account that you don't like, just call. Nobody calls anymore. Everybody thinks nothing will happen if they call. These guys are the gatekeepers. They make the rules. They could do something nice. Call your broker. Trust me.
No. I say that in jest always. Call your broker means don't call your broker. It means go on the internet, man.
No, because
It's better that you're calling your broker instead of your broker calling you.
That's true.
Yeah. I call and complain all the time. I just complain about shit, and they just give me things, remove.
I think you just like to complain.
Call
Yeah,
your broker.
I do. So when
Who does that?
you guys get tired of me, I call my broker.
All right. JC, are you going live with Jason this afternoon? Is that still happening? 4:00 or
100%. 4
100%?
o'clock. Be
All right.
there or be square.
I love gold.
Ooh, what are you guys talking about?
Gold.
gold?
Ooh,
I don't know if you heard, but it's been going up.
I'm in. I'm good.
Yo, check out that Buenaventura.
Yeah.
BBN.
All right, guys, smash the like. Thanks for watching. We'll be back tomorrow. Let's see who's tomorrow's guest. Oh, it's been a week of requests as far as the guest goes. JC asked me to get Riley and Michael on the show. I did. He asked me to get Josh Heller on the show. That's tomorrow. Josh Heller
We're Josh Heller on the show tomorrow?
from Long Five Solutions.
Ooh,
So,
nerd alert. Strazza, you got to be on there because I know you got questions for days. He's the guy.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
the move. All right, smash the like. We'll see you guys later. Go make some money. All right.
Adios.
Later.
I can't take no